And there are a lot of rumors. There's this pretty good account that she was saying, oh my God, and she did have her hand on her stomach, but it's very unlikely that she was speaking clearly about anything in particular. You have to remember that the pregnancy story, partly it's of interest to people because it's got a kind of a prurient appeal, but it's also very much of interest to Mohammed Al-Fayed, who owns the Ritz, and whose son would be the presumed father of the child, not just for emotional reasons, but because he wants to push this idea that his son's romance with Diana was the romance of the century, that they were in love, and that there was this vast conspiracy to keep them from getting married, to keep them from having little half-Muslim, half-Arab babies who would be the siblings of the King of England. And that's what he wants to believe. That's what he uses all his money and all his power to promote as the real story behind this.
Christopher Anderson still with us as we talk about where the questions are, where the focus is a year after, and people are still so into this romance.
Yep. You know, people forget, she knew Dodi for 6 weeks. And well, I think she was in love. I think she was happier than she'd ever been. She told a friend from the yacht that she was on with him over the mobile phone that it was sheer bliss, their relationship. He was going to ask her to marry him that night, but she was not going to say yes. She kept telling all the people I talked with who spoke with her in those final days, said she kept saying, I'm not stupid. That ring that we picked out together, the $200,000 ring, is going right on the 4th finger of my right hand. It's not going to be an engagement ring.
But the ring was called a please say yes ring, an engagement ring.
Yeah, but you know, Alberto Raposi, the man, the jeweler who invented please say yes, he was the jeweler who sold them the ring, came forward and said, Dodi thought of it as an engagement ring perhaps, but she never thought of it that way, and he was there when they picked it out.
Questions out here? Go ahead.
I was wondering, when you were interviewing the doctor, if he had shared with you what Diana's last words were, or what he had heard.
Interesting, because I believe this conflicts with what you say in your book. He told me, Dr. Maya said she was moaning, that she was making struggling types of noises, but that she didn't really say anything.
Well, no, actually, it doesn't conflict, because he told me the same thing. And Mohammed Al-Fayed had floated this idea that she'd made this great statement in the hospital. In fact, Maya heard these sounds of moaning and these statements that he couldn't quite understand. Then he left the scene and he turned over her treatment to the firemen and the paramedics who arrived. And as they lifted her out of the car, and this is officially from the police records that are sealed, the chief fireman said they had to cut the top of the car off. They lifted her body out, and then she came to and said, oh my God, what's happened? And then those were her final words.
People said that she was holding her stomach, more indication that perhaps she was indeed pregnant.
I don't buy that at all.
Not at all?
No, no.
I take it all the profits from the sale of your book are going to charity, yeah?
No. I mean, I'm perfectly honest. You know, this is how I make my living, and I think it also colors it. If I were to go to people and say, gee, this is, I mean, I have charities I give to, and I will continue to, but I don't want people to think they're making a contribution to a charity. I want them to just understand that they're reading the full story of Diana's death.
So basically, you're cashing in on the death of Princess Diana, yeah?
Well, I mean...
Well, he's hardly alone, if you want to look at it that way.
I'm a journalist. No, I'm a journalist. You know, and that's all. I mean, I make no apologies for it whatsoever. I mean, I write, this is my 19th biography, and I'm very proud of it.
Something in the book upset you?
No, sure, it just shows it in a different light, that's all.
Yeah. It is a little more hard-edged, your book, a little more aggressive towards the royals.
Well, it is a tribute to Diana, I will tell you that. And I think it's also a tribute to Charles. I think he really came through in a major way. But the Queen, you know, the Buckingham Palace denounced the book because it hurt the Queen's feelings. And I think it's sort of a badge of honor to be denounced by Buckingham Palace. I heard they might sue you. Well, that's interesting. I mean, look, she behaved badly, and it's history, and certainly all the sources are there, that they're named, and they went on record.
Up next, I spoke with the last person to interview the princess, and she claims it was Diana who set up the meeting, sort of an example of her skillful manipulation. Her intimate and revealing comments are next.